Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ken Busby, your cultural czar, member of the board of the Tulsa Symphony, and we are here today with cellist extraordinaire Pete Peterson. Hello, Pete.
Hi, how are you, Ken?
I'm good, and you, sir?
Oh, doing very well, thank you. And
It
thanks for
it
having me.
absolutely well. Thanks for doing this. You know, these musician moments have been really popular with our audience, really giving people a chance to know the people they see on stage
Uh-huh.
and really getting to know more about them and as part of the bigger family. And so I appreciate you taking the time to do this today. Um, it seems
Sure.
funny for me to call you a cellist, not because you aren't a very fine cellist, but because you do so much more.
Well, I'm very happy that you do call me a cellist. I like to consider myself a cellist,
Uh-huh,
of course.
of course.
I do, but when I was in high school, I knew that I wanted to teach. So that was a given
That's a
for me
given.
for a long
Okay.
time. And so when I went to Towson State University in the Baltimore area in Towson, Maryland, I got my music ed degree.
Okay.
And and but I really did have a passion for playing the cello, and I thought, well, I need to get into a situation where I can really practice. I mean, really hard, coop
Right.
myself up in the room, and just really learn how to play the cello proficiently. Because
Uh,
as a music ed major, I don't think a lot of music ed majors tend to have a lot of time for their major performance medium because they're learning all
of
the other
course.
instruments. They're going to education classes, and you're basically learning how to, teach
Sure.
basics,
Sure.
the instruments.
Right.
And that can be daunting.
I'm sure.
Anyway, yes. So I got that opportunity at University of Tulsa
Right.
to get a master's in cello. And so I got to spend 2 years really, really practicing really hard.
Right.
And so I wanted to be a teacher, and I wanted to be, let's say, marketable in the circle of musicians so I could play. And I didn't really have any idea I'd be playing in the Philharmonic, but lo and behold,
There you were.
yeah, it pretty much happened within the same year.
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
yeah, I was in my last year of grad school at TU,
Right.
and I got into the Philharmonic,
Right.
and it was only a 1 year position. I was taking the place of someone on medical leave,
Mm-hmm.
and he decided the following year not to return.
Okay.
So I auditioned for the spot again, and
Yes.
and it was a full service position that time,
Right.
and
Right.
I got in 1981,
Okay.
and that's when I started my teaching career at Union as well.
Wow. Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So, wow. Yeah. So you've done. Yeah. This is what you've done always. I mean, this is it.
Always, right. Ever since grad school, I've played and I've taught, and Union was my first job, and it was my last as far as full time.
Right. Right. Right.
I was
So
there for 35 years.
I was going to say, yeah, 30, 35. Wow. Congratulations and thank you. Uh,
Oh, I enjoyed
Teachers
it.
and educators are so important. Oh,
Well, I loved it. I
yeah.
loved it.
Yeah. I know
Yeah.
you did. I know you did. So
Yes.
I think you've answered this question, but if you weren't an educator and you weren't
Hmm.
a cellist, have you ever thought about doing anything else or what else you might do?
No.
Okay, well, next question.
No. Well, no. I guess I just banked on music and
Right,
kind of maybe even naively, and I thought, okay, I'm just gonna. I mean, this is what I love to do. This is what my forte is. This is
right.
what I have a passion to do. I didn't really think I was all that hot at anything else anyway. Uh, I guess I would have had to become really proficient at something else if this career hadn't taken off.
Hmm.
Was
Hmm.
was actually planning on going back east after grad. I was actually planning on going back east because I thought I had grown up there, and I had a lot of musician connections back there
Sure.
as a college student. And I thought, and my dad was in the circle of musicians there as a trumpet player, and he was also a music educator, a band director.
Okay.
So I had I had some good contacts.
Sure.
But then Union Public Schools decided to start a string program in 1981, and I happened to be looking for a job. So
there you are, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Right, and that was one of the big reasons that kept me here. But then I met my wife at TU.
Right.
That was a factor. Everything just fell right into place in a very short period of time. That just spoke real loudly. Stay in Tulsa.
That's really neat. I love that story. That's awesome. That's awesome. Really, it is. So, well, I mean, yeah, you have a passion for both of those things, and that has kept you extremely busy. So, when you're not teaching and you're not playing, what do you do to relax?
Well, I've done things in phases in my life. I was a big cyclist, bike rider. So for many years, and I've got to get back into that actually because I enjoyed it.
And we have a large cycling community.
Yes.
Yeah, we do.
So that was a good outlet for me, and I've always liked to exercise. So that's one thing that I enjoy doing quite a bit. Is just exercising and staying in shape and stuff like that. I like going on walks. I like going on little day trips with my family, things like that to relax. And sometimes when I was teaching and playing in the symphony, I'd come home. I think one of the things that I just did that I couldn't help was just fall asleep.
Yes, I imagine. Teaching is very draining, I know.
Yes, and the weeks that we had where you teach, and I know many of my colleagues are still doing this. Since I retired,
right.
I mean, I know what it's like, but there's many colleagues that I still have that are teaching, and boy, more times than not, they'll have 2 or 3 hours after their teaching day, and they shove off to rehearsal.
Yeah,
and those weeks can be pretty long.
Yes, absolutely.
But they're so fun. That's the thing about music. It's so enjoyable.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because when I see you perform with the Tulsa Symphony and I see you on stage, there is joy in your face. I mean, you can tell that you really love what you're doing, and that comes across to the audience.
I'm really glad that you see that, because I really do.
Yeah.
I do genuinely love to play.
Yeah.
And I just love it all. Yeah. Yes, and the conducting kind of fell in place too with the Youth Symphony. I'm very happy that I got that opportunity.
I wanted to talk about that. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so the conducting is really fun. Working with students outside of the school has always been a pleasure. Getting these audition and from all over, and really neat experience. And I still enjoy doing that. Hopefully, we'll be figuring out how to proceed.
Yes, you will. We will. We're all trying to figure that out.
We all try to figure stuff out.
Pete, how long have you been with the Tulsa Youth Symphony, doing conducting with them?
Oh, I think I've been doing it since 2007 or 8.
Okay, I just couldn't remember for sure. Yeah.
And I did the Tulsa Honors Orchestra with Jody Nafee.
Right.
And Aaron Nafee for, I think, maybe 10 to 12 years before that.
Okay.
So I was doing that, and then the Youth Symphony. I couldn't do both.
Sure.
It was, I considered it briefly.
Right.
Saying I could do both of these, and I said I better maybe not.
Right. You need, because sleep was going to have to factor in there again somewhere.
Yes.
Jody was a character. We all miss her.
Yeah. She had a fantastic following. That is lots of people. She touched a lot of lives.
Yes, she did.
It was a lot of fun working with her.
That's neat. Well, speaking of touching lives, you're going to give us a little performance right now as music touches our hearts and our lives. So what are we going to get to hear from you today?
Okay. Well, as you probably know, I'm recovering from a major shoulder surgery. So I
wasn't going to bring that up, because I wasn't sure if you really wanted to, but yes, you are. But you're doing well. Your recovery is going well.
Yes, it is. Recovery is going well, and actually, cello playing is part of my rehab.
Right.
The green light from my surgeon that's translated. It's a French piece, and it's "Walk in the Fall."
Walk in the Fall.
And it's just a really beautiful piece. There's not a lot of description about it. The composer, Marcel Tournier, is primarily a harpist. He was a harpist.
Oh, okay.
He wrote a lot of harp music. He was the harpist for quite a long time. In fact, I think he taught at the Paris Conservatory. He was the harp instructor all the way until about 2 years before he passed away in 1951.
Wow.
But he writes these beautiful pieces, and this one is actually written for harp and cello. And it's a cello solo with pretty much harp accompaniment.
Okay.
But it lends itself very well without the accompaniment. It flows really nicely, and I think the piece, you can almost hear the chordal progressions in the piece just by listening to the melody. It's just really pretty.
Oh, how nice. Well, we will really look forward to that. That sounds delightful. So thank you for sharing that with us. We'll sit back, relax, and enjoy that. I'm glad that your recovery is going well and that your doctor is going to allow you to do that for us. So we appreciate that, or him as well. Well, Pete Peterson, it's been great to visit with you. Thanks for taking the time and for sharing your time with us. And so I'll invite our audience. We'll sit back, relax, and listen to your performance.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking with you. Thank you.
Good to see you, and I look forward to seeing you again in person very, very soon.
Me too. Thank you, Ken.
Take care now.
All right. Take care. Goodbye.